all the talk around you and just 1 year covering you, I think everyone realizes you could be one of the greatest players in NFL history. You have that Michael Jordan type of ability. Do you grasp all that you can accomplish in this sport?
I don't think about being the best. I try to be the best every day I step out on the field and try to increase my game. And, one day I'll be at that level where I could say, I was one of the better safeties to play the game of football.
What made him so rare and also made him the very best football player I've ever coached was that he had speed like a corner, speed like a wide receiver, who was clocked at 4.38 coming out. Had a vertical jump of over 40 inches like a basketball player, but he had a body and a physique like a linebacker at 6'3", 238 when he came out. And what people don't realize is that there's really nothing physically, nothing in any sport that he felt like he couldn't do.
I think he could have been a running back, he could have been a receiver, he could have been a corner, but obviously a perfect spot for him too was safety. And he was a threatening presence in the secondary. I don't think receivers like the fact that they got to cross the field with Sean back there.
You've seen a couple players in the last couple of weeks, be subjects to shootings, and it's just a life-changing thing with one shot of a bullet or whatever the case is, it changes lives.
Early this morning, the tragic news came of Taylor's passing. Unable to overcome the injury suffered from a single gunshot wound during a home invasion on Monday.
And I still feel emotion right now, just going back to that place. It's very easy to get choked up.
He loved and thrived on the competition part of it, and I think he was one of those guys that was made to play football. I think he felt it and felt like this is where he belonged. I think had he not lost his life, I think he could have wound up being one of the greatest players to ever play in the NFL.
He'll be with me for the rest of my career. Very few people I've ever been around in my life have been more competitive than him, and very few people in my life I've ever been around that felt like he was the best at everything he did.
This is a terrible tragedy, and we're going to miss him very, very much.
He's just a special person, and he will truly be missed by all of us. I hold him close to our hearts, and it's just a tough situation right now, and
it'll never be a Sean Taylor. I've seen so many people walk through them doors, and I've watched so many people growing up play this game, and everyone has their purpose. Everyone has something about them that they're most remembered by. And trust me, it'll never be another Sean Taylor.
Look at Eric Berry, look at Cam Chancellor, all these guys that were influenced by Sean Taylor, and they're great players. But Eric Berry and Cam Chancellor combined with Sean Taylor. Ronnie Lott was everything as a safety. To replace the legacy of Ronnie Lott, now when people talk about the best safety, you got to instantly say two guys that I played with, Ed Reed, Sean Taylor, of this generation, and I think they're going to last for generations to come.
I wanted to play for the Redskins out of the draft just because of Sean Taylor. Growing up watching Sean Taylor at Miami, Washington, it was every time he was on, I was glued to the TV, just trying to see what he did, how he hit people, how he had range in the middle, how he came down here, knocked the ball loose, just how he was a dominant force on the field. I wanted to be that dominant force.
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Jackie Taylor, and I am honored to be here to receive this award on behalf of my father, Sean Taylor.
He completely became very open to the coaching staff, talking to people after his birth of his child.
And he was a young man who was certainly misunderstood, but he was mature beyond his years. He loved family. He wanted to have his family together, and that's something that obviously was very close to his heart. That fateful weekend when he went home to Florida to be with his fiance and his daughter.
To lose somebody who was really grown up right in front of you, and to see this guy, to understand that he was in love, and he loved his baby, and the passion he had both on and off the field, and him opening up to everyone around him, including me, it's something that tragedy, that should never have happened.
There was such a sweet, quiet, almost naive, it's a weird thing to say about Sean, a naive side to him. You know, he always talked about, I mean, he loved football. I mean, he was really a gym rat, and he played, I can't remember the quote, it was like, you know, he plays a kid's game for a king's ransom, and yet there was such a soft, sweet side to him, and he never really showed. Like, he was very thoughtful. He really took a lot of time when you were having a conversation to really think about what you were saying, and I don't think people always saw that because people just saw the football side.
My dad worked very hard in his life to achieve his dreams. He believed that getting to the next level meant working hard on his game while everyone else was resting.
Sean had a dominant attitude, but so do I. And so he had some growing up to do, and some of that was just from a personal accountability of you don't always get your way. There's legendary stories of the walls vibrating and chairs being thrown, and he and I almost coming to blows and fights. Many times we went to my office by myself and all the coaches were on point, knowing that when I closed the door and locked the door, they knew it was going to get ugly, and we had some of those sessions. But we had those sessions like a father-son. We had those sessions about willpower. We had those sessions about respect. And respect is not given, it's earned. And I had to earn respect just like he had to earn my respect. And then once we began respecting each other, we trusted each other.
We stepped on that field, me, him, and Portis had that kind of bond. We knew that at the end of the day, the last resort, whatever goes on this field, as long as we handle our business, we have a chance. And we had that bond. If you see some of the video of us coming out the tunnel last, we just felt like at the end of the day, man, it's on us. And we didn't always come through with victories, but we went out there half of the time and laid it on the line and made sure we gave it our all.
When I think of Sean, when I think of Santana, these guys that I went through the mud with, you know, like we came through the struggle together. We had the good times, we had the best of memories. All this we shared in a small period of time, but it's so impactful forever. You know, other people don't get this opportunity to play with two of your favorite players, two of your favorite teammates, coming repping the same university, the same struggle, having the same belief, the same common goal, and wanting to be the best.
Through my career, it was always do it like Sean did it. From that moment, that's when I started watching his highlights before every game, just finding this highlight, that highlight. Just being here in Washington, it's amazing to be able to, you know, follow his footsteps, try to give the fans something that they once seen 10 years ago, and that's my motive.
But the great thing there through Sean's life, we know where he is today.
Yes, sir.
I just want to say thanks to you and thanks to your son. All of us here kind of carried him with us all the way, and we're going to carry him with us the rest of our life.
He was one of those people that made a huge difference on a football team because Sean Taylor was really, really good at being a football player. They had tremendous respect because of that. He was not a talkative person, but he was a great leader because of his performance.
God-given body, incredible work ethic, super smart football mind. He had it all. Way too young to be taken from us. I think he would still be playing at a high level and people would still be ducking over the middle if they were a receiver and Sean Taylor was coming their way.
Just because he smacked you on your behind and knocked you on your behind and looked at you a certain way, he's the type of guy to reach down and lift you up and tell you, you know, next time, you know. So it makes you smile and laugh about just thinking about him because you knew that it was all about the game at the time when we were between them lines. But outside them lines, man, he was just like anybody else.
Everything that we've shared together, you know, all the moments that were created that were so impactful and influential at the time, not realizing those moments, not realizing how precious that time was because you always felt like you had more moments.
The tragedy is that we lost this great person and this great human being. And then on the football side, you have all the what ifs of how great he could have been.
I lost somebody that was a son to me. I lost somebody that I felt a personal responsibility to mentor. I lost somebody that I wish I had one more chance to see the future and beg him not to go down and check the house that he knew he'd gotten broken into the week before. And I'm one of the few people that's ever been around him that knew that in his mind, nothing was impossible. In his mind, he truly was invincible.
This is the way to end it. You know, that's what every high school person wants to win, is a state championship, and we did it.
How does it feel?
Great, man, great.